What's going on, everyone? This is Cadman Cycling. Hope you're having a great day. Back at Crit City today. This is the 8-lap race, a total of 9.8 miles, 16 kilometers in the bell lap direction. So that takes us up the rollers and down the cobbled climb. There's 28 riders here today, so it's a good group. It's a Thursday night race after work. And again, the strategy will stay the same here. So fast start. Make sure I join the front group and then kind of stick with it till the sprint finish if we can. Generally, these are some fast races. This was especially fast, and I kind of knew that going into it. I checked Zwift Power and saw there were actually 5 different Category B riders signed up for this Cat C race. So what that tells me is there's some strong riders here, and it's going to be a fast race. So I want to make sure from the start I get to the front of the pack just to make sure I don't get dropped. And another interesting part of this race is we have another YouTuber here on the right side in that black kit with some green and pink on it. He's in front of me now, is Everyday Zwifter. He makes some Zwift breakdowns just like I do. I've caught a few of them, and he does a really good job kind of analyzing some sprint finishes, analyzing the races. So welcome to the race. I know he's a very capable rider, so kind of becoming a marked man, as at least I know somebody else in this race. I'll be watching him, knowing he has the ability to win this. So keep my eye on him. But other than that, strategy stays the same. Legs feel pretty good. Heart feels pretty good to start. Again, heart rate's kind of low, 174. We'll monitor that throughout the race. What I'll do today is I'll show the first 2 laps and then I'll show the last 2 laps. But yeah, coming into this, I just started a Zwift training plan. So actually the day before this race, I had done a climb up the Alp, just trying to get the Tron bike. Again, a quick tip on workouts, if you want to get the Tron bike, is always do them up the Alp, because the power you need to put out will stay the same, but you'll get those climbing meters a lot quicker. So that was yesterday. I was kind of worried about the legs coming into this race, but they actually felt all right, especially here at the start. But throughout the race, we'll get to the rest, but I felt pretty good in this one as we're just coming around, finishing the first lap. This is exactly where I want to be. It's a big group, but we made the front split. It looks like it's about 15 of us, 15 or so. I just want to make sure I stay off the front. So exactly what I'm doing here is what I don't want to be doing, where I don't want to be. I don't want to be off the front. Anytime I spend in the front, especially on the first lap, but really any time before the last lap of the race, is wasted energy. I want to be sitting mid-pack if I can. The last thing I want to do is kind of yo-yo between the front of the race and the back of the race. So this is more where I want to be. This bell lap direction is kind of interesting because these uphill rollers really string out a group. So it's important kind of to be in the front of the bunch going into these rollers, just because if you hang off the back, you can easily kind of fall back and then have to burn a match early in the race. I got a draft van this time around, so I'll go ahead and use it on the rollers because of what I just mentioned. Definitely don't want to get dropped off the back, and there's a lot of surging here up and down the rollers, so save some energy early on in the race. I think this is the perfect place to use the drafting van, especially this early in the race. Don't need to save it for the finish or anything. I'll go ahead and use it and then see what we get on the future laps. But again, kind of checking in, heart rate is still below 180. Second lap, that's not usually seen. I'm not sure if I've ever seen my heart rate that low. I wouldn't say this late in the race because it's still very early, but definitely feeling good. Legs feel good. Strategy hasn't changed. I'll try to sit kind of mid front of the pack. But again, I kind of find myself surging a little too far towards the front, so I'll dial the power down. I also tried a few times going down this cobbled climb. I ended up coasting down. Let's see, I did not do it this time. It looks like I actually did at the bottom. Kind of an interesting strategy I was trying out to see if I could coast down that cobbled climb, kind of get enough power at the top of it to coast down, sit in the pack, use the draft, and kind of catch my breath for a few seconds. So I tried it there going down. I tried it probably 3 or 4 of the 8 laps, kind of with some mixed results. I think I felt that I fell off the pack a few times and ended up putting out 350, 400 watts at the bottom of the hill to jump back on the pack. So overall, I probably wouldn't recommend that strategy. I was really trying it because the legs did feel good. So I really felt okay putting out those kind of 300 watt efforts at the top of the hill and at the bottom to catch back on if it didn't work. I was kind of testing out if it'd be able to save me some energy overall, but I think what it did is really burn some extra matches that, again, I felt really good here, but it's always good to conserve energy because you never know how you'll feel at the finish. So kind of an interesting strategy that I tried out this time around. I probably won't be doing it in the future. I think it just wasted too much energy, but thought I'd try it out. Something different in the bell lap direction. I think I definitely prefer the dolphin lap direction. I like climbing up that cobbled climb. Just to have the rollers downhill are so much easier. I think that is really what takes the most out of me in these races in the bell lap direction. So I went ahead. Last 2 laps, again, strategy's the same. Not much has changed. Big front group, to be expected. A decently fast race, but again, it's Crit City. Everything's pretty fast, so not really faster than normal. So it seems like the B category riders have kind of sat in and haven't been pushing the pace too much here. Feels like an average Crit City race, but exactly where I want to be. And again, heart rate's starting to get up there, 185, 186, 187, but I really don't think I've touched 190 yet this race. And for the last 2 laps of a Crit City race, that's pretty good. So I'm feeling good. Legs starting to hurt a little bit, but nothing crazy. Still feeling good. I'm right where I want to be. Kind of at the point where I'm starting to now think I want to be more towards the mid front of this front pack. I don't want to be hanging off the back because as some riders start to maybe go off the front, make an attack, push some extra watts, I want to be at the front so I can respond to any of those moves. It looks like, I think there's still at least 10 of us in this front pack, so it looks like it's going to come down to a sprint finish. This is our second last time down the cobbled climb. I'm in the front group. I think I kind of learned by the last lap and second last lap that I shouldn't be coasting down this hill. So I took the foot off the pedal a little bit. I got down to like 30 or 50 watts for a second, but never fully took the power off just to make sure I stayed in the middle of this pack. Didn't want to be off the end. And again, there's Everyday Zwifter. Still hanging in this front group. I know he has all the ability to stay with this front group and stay for the sprint, so kind of was watching him throughout the race. It's a big pack. It looks like it's definitely more than 10. There's probably 15 of us here. So again, just trying to sit, save some energy, hang near the front in case anything goes off the front, and see where we're at. We have only 2 kilometers left. Generally, kind of this second last lap, especially just as we're getting to the final lap banner, is where I start looking at where I want to start my sprint in the final lap. So kind of just making sure I know the course, know the final turn, how much distance there is from that final turn to that last sprint banner. Again, Crit City is one of my favorite places to race. Actually, it is my favorite place to race. So I know it pretty well. I know the distances, but still just thinking through the sprint timing, making sure I go early enough, but not too early. So kind of that's what I'm thinking about on that second last lap. Oftentimes that second last lap of a race is the slowest lap of the race, so it gives me time to start thinking about those things. As we get the feather power up for the final lap, not a bad one. Generally on other laps, and we see a lot of 3 different riders use their feathers here. And that's exactly where I would use it on other laps. But because it is the final lap, I want to save it for the sprint. Any kind of extra energy, extra watts per kilo I can get for the sprint, I'll take advantage of that. So I'm exactly where I want to be. Just over 1 kilometer left. In the front 5, just in case anyone does make an attack, I can respond to it pretty quickly. And again, feeling pretty good. Heart rate's at 191, 192. Not crazy. And legs are starting to feel kind of, some of the yo-yoing I was doing back and forth in the pack definitely kind of hurt me on this last lap as I started to feel it a bit more in the legs. But again, at the end of the race, that'll always happen. And this is where riders will start to push at the bottom of this hill. So I make sure I'm up to 400, 500 watts at the bottom of that hill to make sure I push through the bottom and can jump back on this front pack as I saw them kind of starting to get away. We'll bunch up at the front. There's 6 or 7 of us here. I find myself too far in the front, actually lay off the power. I'm down to 100, 130, 150. With only half a kilometer left, and now I'm back up to 400 to kind of make sure I'm back at the front of the race. And this is where I need to start thinking about sprinting, making the second last turn through the S. Actually, that was the third last turn. This is the second last one with 300 meters left, and this is where I need to really put the pedal down. Everyday Zwifter we see on the left-hand side comes flying through. I hit my feather. At this point, I step on it to go all out. A little too late. I'm really not in full sprint until 150, 130 meters. Everyday Zwifter out in front. I'm trying to get them at the line and just can't quite do it. Congratulations, Everyday Zwifter. Man, I knew you had it in you. I was trying to watch you throughout the race. Just didn't catch on to that sprint. Nice job. Way to come back. He actually made a video breakdown on this exact same race. So after you finish this one, I'll put his link in the description. Go jump over to his, watch his. It's kind of interesting to see it from both sides. He definitely got me that race. It was fun. I definitely want to race him again to see if I can outsprint him next time. But he got me there. And he actually makes great videos, great breakdowns. So definitely recommend checking out his channel. But thanks, guys. It was another one at Crit City, another great race. Thanks for hanging in there. I can't wait to see you on the next one. This is Cadman Cycling. Bye.